Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths that they may do what? Obey us. Are y'all listening? And we turn about with our whole body. Follow along in the scriptures. Where's your Bible? Open your Bible. There's 3 Bibles laying down here on the front seat. You gotta always have your Bible open during the preaching. Give Peter his Bible back there too. All right. That's not Peter's Bible. That's a pink Bible. I don't belong to boys. All right. Behold, we put bits in the horses' mouths that they may obey us, and we turn about their whole bodies. Behold also the ships, which though they be so great, are driven of fierce winds. Yet are they turned about with a very small helm, whithersoever the governor listeth. Now, I want us to stop right there. We're going to pick back up there in a few minutes, and we'll go on. But I want to just pick up where we left off two Wednesday nights ago, okay? And I'm trying to hurry because for some reason I hadn't used my iPad all day. I got up this morning, it was 100%, and it's 8% right now. Wow. I don't know what happened. Yes.
Did we remind you with school like 2 years ago? Yeah.
Yes, sure did. So, we saw last time together the responsibility, now we're down to 5%. This thing may die. The responsibility of the tongue. We saw the control is necessary for teachers who have greater accountability in verses 1 and 2. Control is necessary for believers in order to prove our maturity. I believe tennis star Serena Williams recognized the seriousness of not being able to control her tongue this past week, did she not?
Sadly, no.
Sadly, she didn't realize. She still blames everybody else, don't she?
People are backing her, too.
That's what's amazing to me. I felt sorry for the winner.
Oh, yes.
She cried at the award ceremony because it wasn't about her. It was about...
And apologize.
She apologized.
Yeah.
Why?
But anyway, it does, and I think Serena got exactly what she deserved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she did. I don't care whether you're male or female. You know, don't lose your temper and you act like you can control yourself. Amen? That's just the way it ought to be. I don't care whether you're male or female. You can't go just running off at the mouth. Games have rules, period. If you don't have the rules, then what's the point of the game? Yeah, anarchy. Back to preaching. All right, number 2 in verses 3 and 4, we see the influence of the tongue. And there are 3 things that James outlines here that give influence to the tongue. Now, first of all, we see that a little bridle controls a great horse. Isn't it amazing? You, 130, 150, or even 230 pounds, can get on the back of a horse that weighs 1,000 pounds plus, and you get to control that house because what? You put this little piece of metal in their mouth, and you turn that whole body. I remember when I was up in Canada last time, I got on brother Gordon has some Friesians. They're big, tall horses. They are 16 hands. That's a tall horse. After I got my oxygen mask and climbed up, I had control of that big, massive piece of horse flesh. Why? Because I had a metal bit in his mouth. Now, I say I had control. I did. Till it had been many years since I had been on a horse. I forget about one thing. You ride loose rein when you're going. But as soon as you turn that big beast around and it's headed back to the barn, you better get a tighter rein. I didn't. Because, buddy, that thing, when it said I'm heading home, there's a reason for the expression like a horse headed for the barn. If you lose control, you don't get it back. Our horse has got control. If you turn about that whole thing with the body. Now, folks, I want you to understand something. That little tongue, somebody said God put it behind bars of ivory for a reason. It's encaged and encased behind bars of ivory for a reason. It is the most deadly part of our body. Remember, when we're going through Proverbs, one of the life principles, words can heal or words can kill. What you say makes a huge difference, does it not? And boy, do we need to realize that. A lot of people, believers, need to get an understanding of the power of the tongue. If you can't control your tongue, that means you have no control anywhere else. Now, when I lost control of that horse headed back to the barn, you know what Marty did? I held on for dear life. And then when the pathway that we were going made a sharp curve, guess what?
Marty and me.
The horse curved and Marty didn't. Okay? And I went sailing through the air. Okay? What are you laughing at?
It sounds funny.
I wish I had hit the ground. I slammed into a fence. But the problem was when I was coming off the horse, my left foot didn't clear the stirrup. And so it jerked me and it turned and messed my knee up. And my grandsons are here laughing at me about it.
Well,
Well,
learn
it
from
sounds
his
funny. You
mistakes,
can
boys,
imagine
learn.
it, and then imagine
And
your
so-
grandpa flying in the air.
I flew like Superman,
Super
landed like a rock.
You landed on the rock.
I landed on the fence. And so,
He was straddling the fence.
strapping the fence, yeah. Not just preacher brother. But again, when you lose control just like that, a lot of things get hurt. How many of us ever said words we wish we hadn't said? How many ever gave somebody a piece of our mind and we wish they'd be given it back without reading it? Isn't that right? And so that's exactly what James is saying here. He said, we gotta, remember, a tongue can create much harm by being unbridled. And again, I think the news this week was pretty, we saw classic evidence with that tennis star. Because she could not control her tongue. It cost her the game. Or the match, I guess what you call it. What's that?
Cost her $17,000 too.
Cost her $17,000 in fines, but it cost her the match too. So, and all the finances that go from that as well. And it's a shame. But if she would learn, but she, that's not her first time. She's got that history. When I see her, I think of Proverbs description of a loud woman. Every once in a while I'll see one of those out in the restaurant, and especially when we go to eat at El Carrizo on Wednesday nights, it's margarita night now. My wife and I don't have that, But you let anybody, male or female, start getting to drinking, and they get louder. Do they not?
Yep.
But we were sitting next to the table last week, 4 ladies, I think they were school teachers. They were talking about school, they acted like it. And I'm not fussing at them, but by the time they had a couple of drinks, those 4 women were just really, really loud. But again, being able to control your tongue, being able to watch what you say. But it's a little bridle with a great horse. But notice number 2, he compares it to a rudder. He said, "Behold, the ships, though they be so great, they're driven of fierce winds, but yet a very small helm." Very small helm or rudder turns wherever the governor, the captain, wants it to go. The captain's standing up there on the front of the ship, standing up on the ship in the wheelhouse, controlling that thing, but that wheel is not actually turning the ship. What's what that wheel is connected to? Way back here, under everything, that little rudder doing this. That was in James' day, you understand? And he said that turns about the whole ship. Matter of fact, it brought a reminder to me, back during World War I, Germany had an incredible, they had the most advanced battleship out there. They deemed it unsinkable. It was the Bismarck. Anybody remember reading about that in your history books? How did it sink?
They hit it in the rudder.
They hit it in the rudder with a torpedo.
That didn't sink it, but that made it so that it couldn't get away.
All it could do was go in circles. And all that did was made them a sitting duck, literally. And they got taken out because they took out the rudder. Without the rudder, that Bismarck, as mighty, as magnificent, and as ironclad as it was, it wasn't anything but a dead duck in the water. They took it down. Again, James says it's the same way with the tongue. You lose control of your tongue, you lose control of the whole body. But look at the third thing he says. He says in verse 5 and 6, it's a little member and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth, and the tongue is, what's the word he uses there? Is a what? Fire. It's a world of iniquity. So is the tongue. The moon remembers it, the fire of the whole body, setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. Listen, I will be the first to confess. My wife knows this. In years past, I had a serious trouble controlling my temper. Now, I never hit her. I never would hit my wife. I don't think any man, any real man, no man, real man ever hits a woman, period.
Amen.
Amen? No matter how much she deserves it. I'm just kidding.
Right.
Just kidding. But my wife will tell you that, I don't know any of y'all like me, I would say things. And I might even put my fist through the sheetrock wall. I know y'all find that hard to believe, don't you? Praise the Lord, I hadn't done that. God gave me, I said, Lord, if I'm going to be a pastor, you're going to have to help me with this, because, I can't punch people out because they didn't like my message. But I had to get control of that. One of the reasons I had to get control of that was because I had to learn control of this. And I don't say this braggadociously. I've always, growing up, going through school, English was my favorite subject. Marty. I love English. I love taking words and forming them and crafting them and making sentences and paragraphs that had power to them. You know what I mean? When you read them. And I learned how to use the English language. I don't know what the rest of the sermon's going to be, but there it went. But the rest of it, I loved the use of words. And because, and this is where I'm sure where Stephanie gets some of it from, because I was who I was, and I did not inherit my dad's gentle nature. And I'm not blaming my temper on Mom, but Mom was more of a hothead, like, you know what I mean. But I could use my tongue in sarcasm to cut people to the bone. You know somebody like that, huh? And I had to really ask God to give me control over that, help me to get control. Why? Because it was a fire. And every fire I lit burned further than I wanted it to burn. And I was hurting people. I would say this, even though I basically got control, the Holy Spirit gave me control of my temper back before I entered the ministry. But even at that, my tongue was not fully under control yet. And I'm afraid I hurt a lot of people early in my ministry, because I didn't realize the fire that it could cause. You could say things with the best of intent, and yet it hurts. Now, I'm not saying that you should have never hurt people. If what the message says hurts people, that's one thing, but I should never be guilty of hurting people myself. You want to say something? Oh, don't you wait when it falls. And so James says here we have a fire. I mean, it's this whole, our tongue is untamable. He said no man can tame it. It's unruly. Verse 8. He said it's unruly evil, full of deadly poison. He said, if you think you've ever tamed it, you're kidding yourself. I skipped over verse 7. He said, every kind of beast and of birds and serpents and things in the sea is tamed and hath been tamed. We've tamed, whales, we've tamed lions, we've tamed tigers, we've tamed all kinds of things, but he says the tongue is untamable.
Right.
The best you can do is control it, like the bridle in the horse's mouth, like the rudder on a ship. That's what we've got to do. We've got to control it, because that's all the best we can do. Yes, this Marty Wynn, this pastor, this preacher who loves you, who loves the Lord, who tries to serve the Lord, I'm not perfect, but I can still use my tongue to do some big damage. I know how to use the English language. I don't need profanity for it. Some people use profanity because they don't have a good command of the language, so they just throw out words that make them feel like they've at least got their point across. I know how to do that without the profanity. And again, I don't say it braggadociously, but I am good with words. And I have to watch that even in my writing, because I can do that. But notice what James says next. He talked about the controlling the tongue. He says, verse 9, he said, here's the problem. With our tongue, we bless God, even the Father. And therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude, the likeness of God. And out of the same mouth proceedeth blessing and cursing. My brethren, these things ought not so to be. Right? Now, what he says there is this. He said, we're sending these signals. Don't call yourself a mature believer, because remember, with the word perfect, verse 2, mature, complete. Don't call yourself a grown-up Christian. If you'll come to church and sing, oh, how I love Jesus, and then go out there and give everybody a piece of your mind. He said, you can't do both and be a mature Christian. It don't work that way.
I just made me think the old saying, you kiss your mom with that mouth.
You what?
I said the old saying, oh, and you kiss your mom with that mouth.
Oh, I've never heard that one.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
I've heard it a lot.
Yeah, say people say a nasty word. Say you kiss your mom with that
Oh,
same
really?
mouth. Same idea, basically.
I like it.
Yeah.
But that's exactly, James says, we can't do that. And a lot of people have lost their testimony. They're unable to win their friends, their family, their neighbors to Christ. Why? Because their neighbors or their friends or their family know they're supposed to be Christians. And yet their tongue is never used to point people to the Savior. It's always used to be critical. What's that? Negative. Always. How many of you know somebody that, and don't give me any names, but you know somebody that they have it's just what they do. They always find the worst to comment about somebody. I've known people like that in my lifetime and in my ministry. And I had to watch that. One of the mistakes that I made with my kids growing up, and my kids turned out okay. It was in spite of me and not because of me. And I'm proud of it. My wife was always the gift of mercy person. But I was always on how they could have done it better. And I called it before they were grown and gone, and I tried to fix it. And I learned to apologize often to my kids and talk to them and say, I'm dad. I am the authority here, but I'm not perfect. You know, and I started trying to learn to be more encouraging. I feel like over the past 15, 20 years, I've been much better at that than I ever was before. I feel like I've learned to try to encourage my kids and my grandkids. I want them to see how you're supposed to live and how you're supposed to walk and how you're supposed to use your tongue and your words to help people and encourage people. Well, there was another point. I'll pick it up next week because I can't remember what it was. And it's there on my iPad, but my iPad died. And I do need to talk to somebody anyway, so we'll go ahead and dismiss here tonight. Anybody got any comments?
You never realize when you say something that you say it, and then it takes the person either saying, that was really offensive, that really hurt my feelings, or did you mean that the way that sounded? Sometimes for somebody that doesn't really know how to use their words, to realize things that they're saying is hurtful.
Well, a lot of times people, what they say, they don't realize how everybody hears it.
Right.
And that's basically what you were saying. And they don't realize they're critical. They don't realize they're negative. They think they're trying to help the person.
Right.
But you're not helping. If everything you say is critical about them. Now, it's okay to criticize me if I need criticizing, but if all you do is ever criticize me, I'm going to be wondering,
Well, why are you even around?
why are you moving around me? Exactly, yes.
Ever since I was a child, I had the problem of remaining silent when I should be. And it used to get me in a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was completely grown before I ever realized that sometimes if something is better left unsaid, then it just needs to be unsaid.
Yeah.
And it took me a long time to realize that.
It takes too many of us too long for that, brother.
It
It takes too many of us too long to realize that.
does.
It really does. All right, let's have a word of prayer. We'll be dismissed, and we'll be back Sunday in our place. Amen. And do pray for tomorrow. Pray that all goes well. And then pray for Friday as Brother Wyckoff and I take a box that's about this size, all right, and put a bunch of pieces of metal together. It's supposed to be a TV stand standing this tall. Okay.
Just remember tab A and slot B.
You're stepping back a few years, brother. Okay, let's go to the Lord in prayer. Father, thank you for our time together tonight. It's been such a blessing. Help us to watch ourselves and guard our tongues, Lord. And I pray that you be with us as we go ways. Keep us safe through the storm over the next few days. We do pray again that if it would be within your will and purpose and plan that you would just blow that storm on back out to sea and let it not hit our nation's borders, that it might do no harm, because, Lord, if it comes in at category 4, there may be lives lost, a lot of loss to property and possibly life. And I pray that you just intervene, Lord. Have your hand upon it now. In Jesus' name. Amen.
I was looking at Fox News right before church, and it showed it as